Hello and welcome back to my playthrough of Final Fantasy 15. In the last episode, we finally got our... we met up with Rama, pretty much, and we got our second summon, our second Covenant 4. And what's left for us to do now is to go and retake our regalia, which has been stolen by the Empire. And we feel that they may well be even trying to remove it from the sky altogether. And I think in the context of this playthrough, I think it's a good idea for us to actually keep that in mind, because finishing off this next little chapter, this little section, is going to be useful in the sense that we'll finally reopen up the rest of the world. So currently we are limited, we can't enter Lead, we can't enter Clane. A big issue that is especially the fact that we can't go to Lustolum and hand in 6,000 quests that we have. And so it is in our interest to finish this chapter relatively quickly, just so that we can get things back to normalcy and both hand in and then start a whole load more quests. So we have a bunch of quest lines that we've essentially just started. That would be a good idea for us to continue. Now, we currently don't have chocobos, which is a little frustrating. It means that we're going to be running around a bit, probably running straight back to Wizards. And what I think we'll do is, so I've done a little looking into Dave's quest down here. And it just so happens that I think it brings us back sort of around this area, so it sort of would be very much a dip in and then coming straight back the other way, which would be a little bit annoying. Additionally, the second, or even the next one of Wiz's quests is also something that we could be engaging with, just in terms of its placement on the map. So I think what the plan is going to be is we're going to rest up at Wizards and cash in our huge amount of experience that we have. We're then going to obviously rent out some chocobos. We'll keep the colour scheme for now, I think. Though next time come around we'll definitely change it. And we'll then see, we'll try and do as many side quests as we can. So we've got a few hunts along the way that we could definitely take care of. And we'll see if there are any other quests of the sort that we can do. Both the hunts are generally around this area. So we'll head pretty much south, head here, then head over to Dave. And also go to the Tailpire Rest area and sort of just, again, we can cash in some hunts, see if we can take on some more hunts, those sort of things. We'll then fast travel back to Wizards, which we should be able to do with this return to rest point there. And then do pretty much the same thing, but this time we'll pretty much stick to the road, make our way around the south side of here, through Corthus, through Kernix, and make our way over to where Cindy wants us to be for engaging the Empire, which I think is, which is obviously our next major quest, our next main quest. So, with that in mind, actually what we need to do is stay at our lodgings. So we get a nice 20% buff to all of the experience that we're going to grab, which is nice. Should give us, I think, around 12,000-ish experience, I think. For this particular chunk. Ooh, maybe even more. So 13 jumps to, about 15,000 experience. So most people gain a couple of levels. Ignis and Prompto lagging a little bit behind, but that's okay. It's a nice picture of Noctis. One of her in our battle with the Catobal Pass. Fighting some Imperial soldiers.
Perfect timing.
That's a good picture of in the fight with the Naga. And one of Noctis gaining the power of Rama there. Obviously, this is something we could have done. It would have been nicer to sort of tie this up at the end of the last episode, but we weren't to know exactly what the plan was going to be. I don't plan all of these out massively in advance, as you can probably tell. But that's just, makes it a little bit more fun. Okay, so we'll rent these out. I can't imagine we'll need them for more than 3 days, at least at this point. Though, as I have said in the past, and I just don't follow my own advice with this, that there is kind of absolutely no reason not to... we've read all of that. There's absolutely no reason for us not to... be renting chocobos out for a nice long time. But whoever said that my advice was good? Okay, so we have this one to hammer the cannonballs, and this one things from the past. Given that it is morning, it probably is going to be the case that we'll do. It may well be the case that we do one this time, and then we'll do another one the second time around.
Man, it's hot. Then lose the jacket.
So we've got Skarnbulette and Bulettes coming up. Now, Bulettes being as some of the enemies that you do find in episode Gladio means that he should be a pretty useful ally in the upcoming battle. Not that he isn't always, but in more useful in a sense. Wonder what that was for. Okay. The other thing we obviously also want to do is Bird on the Brink. I need to remember to find that quest. Quests. Bird on the Brink. It's just a little way further over. Very much on our way to Dave, which is quite nice. I'm going to have my fingers crossed that if we can do everything in pretty decent time, then we'll be able to when we fast travel back to Wiz's from Dave, that should actually we should hopefully then be able to coming back to this sort of place around night time, which would be quite useful.
Just a scouty boss. Easy as they come.
Just 4 tooths. Nothing of interest.
Better keep up.
That looks like this battle's going to be taking place inside the crater, which is quite cool.
Thanks for the ride.
We're in the money.
So Bulette's at level 14. The Skarnbulette's much higher at level 38. even though they look about the same size, which is interesting.
Instructions! All we've got! That's that. Now, coming up!
Oh, we've also got some Imperial soldiers. Lovely.
It's nice knowing you guys. One time! Sure thing! Thank you. Think you can turn it around? I can try.
Never fear. Locro's here.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, these guys do an awful lot of damage to everyone who isn't really Noctis at the moment. Yeah, I'm really struggling with the other characters, at least.
I'll cover. Keep pushing, Gladio, till there's nothing left to push.
Thanks. Spaced out a second. Ah, don't sweat it. Happens to the best of us.
Certainly didn't expect this much trouble.
Doesn't look good.
Ooh. There we go. Okay.
Not a moment too soon.
So that one was obviously pretty tough. Primarily, the Bullets were just doing so much damage that it was very difficult for us to survive. Like, we couldn't survive a couple of hits. And not being able to survive a couple of hits meant that it was really difficult to sort of I probably should have just stayed as Noctis, is the real answer to that one there, at least. I think if we had stayed as Noctis, we'd have probably had a better chance. Okay, so
Going on ahead.
we have the Bird and Brink just over there, and we also have the Corthus rest area just ahead. So I'm going to drop in there. If only just to check if there's any hunts that we can.
That's it.
Aha.
I've come up with a new recipe.
I could taste test for you.
I thought garlic was a new ingredient for us, and so it turned out to be. Corthus Rest Area is also where we had the FF14 crossover one. So yeah, Corthus is just ahead. We might as well just drop in.
You all right, Prompto?
What? You humming?
I suppose I was.
Who are you, and what did you do with Iggy?
My lips are sealed.
There's Ignis surprising everyone with a bit of musicality.
Glad you're in one piece.
So yeah, we'll see if there are any decent hunts for us here.
What'll it be today? These suckers are trouble.
So we can't grab baby snatchers yet. I'm assuming it's a level 5 quest then.
Thank you. Please come again. Where should we stay tonight?
We have the Justice Monsters 5 little video game setups that they have in all of the Kenny's diners. Do 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 do. Now that is a very large chocobo. Oh, this is the Final Fantasy 14 thing, right? We might as well. I know it's like level 45, but maybe we won't have to do it. Well, we might as well see.
Yikes! That is the most humongous chocobo I've ever seen.
Get off me!
You okay? You know, considering you're underneath a giant bird.
It appears to have found a new nesting spot.
Usually, I can entice it into moving with a treat.
Right, chocobo feet. Okay, hold on. Got beef with my greens?
He's a pretty picky eater. He only eats the very best veggies.
Sounds like somebody I know.
That's so.
Nah, Noct wouldn't eat his veggies if they were the last food on Eos.
All right, perhaps we should pop by the post. Wiz might have some good food for sale.
Well, heading back to Wiz, that's exactly what we're going to be doing in a bit, so that works out quite nicely for us. So we need some premium Ghazal greens.
Huh.
Anyway, so we have our own chocobo problems to be concerned with.
Wow, I never knew chocobos could grow up to be such big birds. It is quite curious, given that chocobos are known for their high metabolism.
Those lucky cluckers.
No body issues aside, this is kind of a pressing matter. So why don't we give the young lady a hand?
a pressing matter because the bird is pressing down on her. Anyway, so we'll quickly go do a bird on the brink. I'm assuming you're getting just some Vortugs.
Knocked! You gotta try this! Nah, I think they heard you.
Another mysterious crater. There's a fair few around this section.
This is the spot. Let's find him quick.
And I see the chocobo. Aw.
Thanks for the ride.
We could not leave this little chocobo
Nice riding with
injured.
you.
Oh, it's gotta be him.
Knocked. Do you have the medicine?
There. Ah, what a relief. You take care now.
Let's go.
If a predator had found him, we'd have been done for.
Uh-huh. A real good thing we found him first.
We can take the good news back to Wiz.
Yeah, he's gonna be happy.
Okay, so if we just off-road a bit while we head up, make our way up towards Dave, up this way. And depending on how long the transfer is in terms of how long it takes for us to be sort of teleport from where we currently are to the next section. That'll just define it. Okay, so some more artificial walls, essentially.
Knocked. Overhead.
I wonder. Feels like you should be able to get up there, but doesn't look like we can.
Ah, the breeze feels good.
Indeed.
So you might need to just resort to following the road up. Which is a little disappointing. Now I am regretting not having not having stayed at a haven and given the chocobos some greens, but at the same time, then we couldn't. If I jump off this side, then how do I get back up? Can I get back up? The interesting questions. Don't particularly want to get stuck. I'm guessing that the road is low enough.
Oh, nice here.
Indeed.
In traffic news, a group of 4 green chocobos were found to be delaying. Hey, come on, guys. There is actually a pavement that we should probably be using. So that goes again up to the Doral Caverns. We've already explored that a little bit.
Beautiful day. Totally.
And this is why we're going to teleport back, because this is a fairly long trek.
Beautiful day.
Indeed.
I'm not sure we've had any nutmeg before. Hold our nutmeg.
Nice riding with you.
The hunt is on.
Outstanding.
Yep. Here I am.
You're on fire today.
Here goes. What can I say?
That's for interrupting me.
And on we go. Right.
Yeah, our chocobos ran up this way. A nice handy mega phoenix there. Okay, so we're back at Tailpath, and we will check out.
We're here.
Welcome.
See if there are any.
Must have been a trek for you guys.
It was a
Bad
trek.
news, this lot. Reckon you can handle them?
Okay, level 37. Given that we're going to be doing one that's level 41, we might as well take these on. So some hunt legs.
Let's see what you're made of.
And some even scarier bugs, some Redlegs. And then some Iron Giants. I mean, we've already taken on some Iron Giants. But it looks like they will be
Give 'em hell.
even stronger, given the level. We don't want to do that just yet. So, A Roaring in the Night is up by Doral. Reclaiming Schier Heights is virtually the same area. So let's have a quick chat with Dave here.
Well, we meet again. You sticking around these parts for a spell? We could use your help digging up some dog tags.
So, Swallowed by Shadows?
How's the road been treating you?
And if we check where that one is, see that's virtually on our way back. So we could jump on those chocobos and run back through and try and take on those extra hunts. Do we want to do that?
Get a load of this.
That's a lot of horns.
Someone's been busy.
Seriously.
That looks like a book of the cosmogony. I don't think we've read this one. The divine host of messengers. It is said that, in the beginning, the six fought side by side with mankind. Even so, the deities themselves seldom appeared before mortals, and instead sent loyal servants to convey their divine will to the oracle. These servants are known as the messengers, and they number 24. We might have read that one. But a little bit more information tells us stuff about Gentiana, certainly. Part of me is like thinking, well, I could just head back there. It'd be a hell of a fight to take on both the Iron Giants and the Redlegs at the same time. And it's tempting, and I really want to do it, so we're going to do it. Yeah. Because why be sensible when you can do something that's always a bad idea?
How are you today?
Okay.
Till next time.
Welcome. Kick back and relax. You keen to pummel some pests?
So I'm just going to fire abort it and then restart it.
Good luck out there.
We can wait here until nightfall.
I'll be rooting for you.
And we should have a fair amount of time, yeah. Given that it's 8. From what we've seen, that even the demons that come out at night tend not to come out until around 9-ish. So we've got a bit of time.
Better make tracks. Ignis, we're going.
On my way.
This is very, very much not what I had planned to do, but why the hell not? I have no idea what Redlegs are weak to in terms of the items. I wonder if it's in our Bestiary. Archives, Bestiary. I'm going to assume it's in Clane. Maybe it's in Disguise. Redlegs. Details. So, looks like it's weak to ice. I think that means the orange is weak and purple is strong. So, and ice is the only spell that we do not have a nice chunk of. That's not great. If we go to Ascension, do I have enough for the magic? Plus, unfortunately, we do not. I don't think there's a convenient haven around here either, which is a bit annoying. Both in the sense that we could absorb some elemental deposits. Well, mainly because we'd be able to get some elemental deposits. Down the road, Faye's on the road. So, this could be some nice practice. The Iron Giants themselves are strong against fire, weak to great swords and shields.
How are we?
Getting by. Pronto, you're up. Let me brighten your day.
It's history now.
Lovely. Okay, that went pretty well.
This will make a fine paint.
So there's certainly reasons to be worried.
Let's go.
We may be able to make the most out of Ignis's spell daggers in order to deal good ice damage to Redlegs. Depends how frail everyone is with regards to the enemy's attacks. And given the levels that we're competing at, I imagine the answer to that is going to be quite.
You okay? You want to take a break? I'm fine. Come on. Break time. Break time!
So the Schier Heights on the outskirts of the Dorel Caverns. Going to be the site of the big old fight. Now we might be completely outnumbered here in terms of the battle, but that's part of the fun. I think what I should at least do is definitely at least equip one of our strong spells.
Let me brighten your day!
Okay, so these guys are, at least they're weak to regular swords.
Quite careless of me.
Gladio, do it!
Lay low!
Okay, so take a little quick stock as to how we're doing. We've definitely taken down a few of the Redlegs. We've got our Iron Giants. And we might as well just let this rack up. I cannot see for hell. Could not see anything there. Okay, so we've taken down the Redlegs and the Redlegs, which is nice. Now it's just these two giants.
Hey, take this! Instructions! All we've got! That's them.
Okay.
I mean, I was holding down the block button, but it didn't seem to do a lot there.
Everything we have!
go. Whew. I agree, Gladio. I agree. That was good.
This should tide us over for quite some time.
Lap of luxury, here we come.
Easy, big spender.
Frugality.
Okay, so that's really good. The question of whether we think we could reach Costlemark before the sun comes up, I don't think so. But there is a haven really nearby, so what we could do is we could just head to the haven and stay there and sort of just wait until nightfall there in order to get our next thing. I think we should now do what I had planned to do initially, which is to return to our rest spot. That was a good fun battle. Difficult battle, obviously. Lots and lots of high-level enemies. Those Huntlegs, nowhere near as dangerous as they could have been, I thought. Seemed like the area of effect magic was doing a very good job, even though it wasn't the super effective area of effect magic. And yeah, just the others sort of... The giants just took a little bit of time to whittle down, but it was fun sort of alternating between different playstyles. Playing as Prompto, playing as Gladio, etc.
So what's next? Ask around a little?
It's up to knock.
So where's a guy supposed to find fat chocobo feed?
Let's ask the shop clerk, or one of the breeders.
So, as they say, we should do just that. And we should also hand in our quest.
Well, did y'all find the bird?
Yeah, he's doing better now. Moving around.
Is that right? Y'all did me a real good turn today. I owe you. I don't have much I can give y'all, but I can give you this for your chocobo. It's brand new.
So we complete Bird on the Brink. We're already at 9,000 experience, which is quite a lot. And if we talk at the shop clerk here,
Howdy. Got lots of good stuff in stock.
we should be able to buy ourselves some premium Gazal greens
Thanks. Come
for
back
that
soon.
particularly hungry chocobo. Or, sorry, that particularly picky chocobo.
These look positively grand.
Yeah, so leafy. I better love it. And the little lady'll be saved.
Speaking of, she looked a bit peculiar. Those pointed ears suddenly piqued my curiosity.
Didn't notice.
Well, you can have a good look when we go and give her these greens.
Did she now? She piqued Ignis's curiosity. I wasn't aware. So, we should be able to take on the next of Wiz's quests.
Y'all getting bored of my chow? I mean, I do serve the same thing all the time. I'm thinking I gotta spice up the old menu. I want to be more particular about vegetables. Y'all see something nice, you bring round a bushel, all right?
Okay. If we see anything.
So, a Feathery Feast, for which we require some Schier root. And it turns out that we already have some Schier root, which is excellent for us. Does mean that we lose the quest dialogue, I think.
So that's the reward?
One of us is pleased. That's good enough in my book.
So, Nuct, how do we divvy it up? I'll let you guys decide.
So, y'all reckon this veg can spice up my menu, huh?
Maybe. Can't hurt, right?
Well, what's it taste like?
Like something good?
Yeah? Well, if y'all say so. Now get myself in the kitchen and start cooking. Y'all be sure to give the new dish a try.
So, one of the easiest quests that we'll have. And that will obviously improve Wiz's selection at the here. And now the next in the Wiz's quest line.
Good timing, son.
Why? What's up?
Wild Chocobo went and got herself attacked. Folks say they saw her running for her life, all desperate-like.
Don't worry. We'll find her.
So, chase that chocobo. I believe this one is in Lead, of all places. Yeah, it's over in Lead, so we've got a little bit of a ways to go for that one. As it is. Yeah, we've got Things from the Past is the one that we'll... So this hasn't gone quite as I planned.
Easy now.
It just so happens that finding the Schier route, I think... there's some Schier route sort of around this area, so if you keep going... maybe not. Maybe we haven't found... I wonder where we found it then. Wild onion. Wallstream. Beetroot. I don't think we've picked up any beetroot. Ah, there we go. We clearly got one from all the way over here in there. Yeah, plenty of it up by Golden. So, in that case...
So, he hopes to bring in custom.
What was it running from?
We'd best hurry and find out.
Giddy up and take the medicine. Yeah, gotcha.
So, same sort of thing again. We sort of had overlapping dialogue there. Should have probably backtracked a little bit just to let him chat, or at least let the boys chat about his plan. As it is, yeah, I mean we're heading pretty much directly south. If there are any havens along the way, we'll stop there.
Good morning, fellas.
Sun come up already?
We've been out all night.
I think that's our cue to call it a day. Let's go.
So I can't see any smoke rising in the distance. Which to me suggests that it is just going to be a case of us staying at the
Imperials above us. Thanks.
staying at the haven next to Costlemark.
Blessed weather.
Totally.
So yeah, we're pretty much bisecting the two at this point. Let's head this way. Now, where is our haven? There it would be. Oath Haven.
Thanks for the ride.
And we get just at the same time to level 8 with our Chocobo. So our fire inventory is consistently filling up because a lot of the basic enemies that we're finding at the moment are of that element. And what that means is the engine blade and the various other, some of the other weapons that we're using, which absorb the energy. So they absorb elemental results from that sort of stuff, and so that's sort of what we're seeing at this point. Okay, so we wanted to get this one 100%. And then I think our two main guests after this is to get extra powercraft for some extra power, and then to get each of the level 18, each of these ones which are worth 18 of the on the tech bar. And we may well also want to try and get Tech Strike as well. Okay, so let's go to Elemency. Okay, anything of particular? I do not know what our quarry is weak to, but I'm sure we'll find out.
We're here.
So we'll wait until nightfall.
Easy now.
So it also being nighttime means that we could enter Costlemark Tower if we really wanted to. But I think that would be a terrible idea. Given the threat level. But just as a point of reference, you can see that the colour has changed very much so.
Check it out, guys! Glow in the dark!
Don't know if there's anything of value for us around this little area here. well, isn't what I'm assuming is the, so Costlemark Tower is an enormous tower constructed millennia ago by the ancient civilization of Solheim. Built from sturdy stone and a special metallic material, the structure weathered the catastrophic war of the Astrals and still stands to this day, none the worse for wear. During the peak of Solheim's prosperity, its sphere of influence extended across all the lands of Eos, with Duskayan Clain at its centre. Scholars suspect Costlemark Tower helped solidify the nation's hold on the continent, possibly serving as a military base of operations. The outer walls of the tower glow red when night descends upon the Fall Grove, and the entrance to the structure is revealed. Intrepid adventurers have attempted several expeditions inside, but nearly all were driven away by the hordes of demons dwelling within. Instead, most groups simply resign themselves to exploring the other ruins around the area. So, a lot of demons inside, as we might expect. We can see the entrance is now down that way. And as I've said before,
Temper.
a very dangerous, very high level dungeon, probably the highest level, at least one of the two highest level dungeons, just for the base game. And we may well only be doing that in very late, in terms of retrieving its royal arm and that stuff. Still, now that we're here, we should run into our necromancers, and there are 3 of them. And this is a battle that is going to be difficult, because necromancers themselves are already difficult enemies to fight. But 3 of them at at a higher level than us, and all this is going to be a challenge. So level 41. So they work similar to the mind flayers that we've seen in terms of sort of attack patterns and design and all that stuff. I imagine they'll also have similar weaknesses. So what are we looking at here? We are looking at weak to ice, weak to greatswords, weak to shields. So, as necromancers, they can summon the little skeletons.
You're up.
You ready?
Oof, that did a lot of damage. Oh, and I've been stopped, I'm assuming that is.
Not over here.
Thanks. Say your prayers.
Okay, so that does damage and deals stop to you, which is very dangerous. Okay, so let's get out my. Gonna need one of these.
Quite a tense situation.
It's a nightmare.
Damn it! Come on. Okay.
Pronto, you're on.
All right. Now you want.
Pronto. Gladio's hard as a rock.
What the hell are you talking about?
Not.
Yep.
This is the first one where I'm thinking I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna win. Okay, let's. I need to change this from Royal Guard to Tempest.
Hey, Ignis, instructions. All we've got. Nothing personal.
Gotcha!
That fire does so much damage. Okay, proper challenge now. So, it's what we get for not making a strong ice type spell, which I feel like would really help.
Gladio, do it. Watch out!
Say your prayers.
Yeah, so we are barely eating away at these guys. I have no idea what's going on, but there we go. But I think we did a decent chunk of damage there, is the important thing. thought it wasn't aiming at me. You need to remember that they're pretty much always aiming at me.
My pleasure. This can't be.
Ooh dear, not Noctis. That's bad. All of the epic music is suitable, at least for this battle, I think. As we struggle against these Necromancers. What I think, again, there was literally nothing I could do about that. And again, keep getting I think we got one down. Maybe even two. There's two.
If anything happens to me, I won't let anything happen to you. Oh, poor pal.
Try to squeeze it in there.
This can't be.
Okay, so we need a second Mega Phoenix just to bring everyone back. This continual use, or the ability to continually use sort of healing items like this, is part of the reason why some people say that the game is way too easy. So even there, you know, I can take on a battle which was...
Something on your face. Yeah. You really could do with a bath for hygiene's sake.
Heads up, you could probably use one too.
So yeah, I think there's definitely a case to be said that when you have, you know, access to so many healing items and things like that, then you do, it does obviously remove some of the threat, some of the danger. But at the same time, I mean, in that battle, clearly, you know, if we got hit, we pretty much died. We only really got through because I think we had a couple of very lucky rounds, probably in the sort of transition period between where they're concentrating on your current character and then when they're concentrating on the character you've switched to.
Magitech engine. It's close.
So when I switched from Noctis to Ignis, I think there was probably a period of time where the enemies were largely focused on Noctis, which meant that I could actually get off a series of very strong and super effective attacks using Ignis's ice daggers, which took their health down from probably about 70-80% down into the fifth, or at least took it down to around that sort of
Let me give the
a
orders
level.
this time.
Just keep it short and simple.
Attack.
And those ones, I think,
See you, Slowpoke!
it made the most sense.
We got company.
Let's do it, Mr. Hunter. Yeah.
Just because, if we hadn't have been able to do that amount of damage that quickly, that battle would have been a lot more painful. And it would have probably been the sort of battle where it would have been like, actually, you know what, let's just leave and we'll come back to this later point. Okay, so our unfortunate hunter seems to have been attacked by some Redlegs.
Yeah. You guys better take this one. Hit it, Gladio.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
No quarter.
Sure.
Gladio's looking rather pally.
It's not looking so hot. Is it poison? Say your prayers.
There we go.
Not a moment too soon.
Time for some well-earned R&R.
Nothing too difficult about that battle, really. And we will grab the tag, but I just want to check what these are. A Disguise and
That's
Orange.
What's what?
I've come up with a new recipe.
Can't wait to try it.
Okay, so we should be able to find the tag that Dave wants us to.
Glad we found it. Time to make another delivery.
And so, but rather than head back to Dave, what we'll do is we'll now head to Corthus, hand in those greens, and then make our way up towards this haven here, Sothmog, which is, I think, where we need to be going forwards. With more enemies.
I have an idea. You strike from behind. From there, we'll follow.
All right.
Got it.
Yeah.
Impressive.
It takes two. One shot. See ya.
With everything we have. Well, that's that. Brilliant.
No big deal.
None the worse for wear.
Bring on the next one.
Okay, so we're going to try. It might be a slightly longer episode than usual today, because I think it would be a good idea for us to try and complete this, essentially complete this chapter. Again, for the reasons that I mentioned before, this chapter is limiting in the sense that we can only be in Disguise, and so opening up the world to us some more. Is definitely a good idea. And then once we hand in all of those quests that we have to hand in Lestollen, what we could do is probably stay at the Leville in Lestollen and to get a nice big chunk of bonus experience. On top of all of the experience that we'd get anyway. So I think we checked that one for hunts of interest. After this, the next one is Kernix Corthus. But first of all,
Thanks for the ride.
let us help this little lady
Thanks, buddy.
here and her very large chocobo.
Brought you some high-quality greens.
Just set them down over there. Take it easy up there, will ya? Thank goodness. Oh, thanks so much. You're lifesavers.
Don't sweat it. After all, helping people's what hunters do best.
Whoa now. Easy there, tough guy.
Hunters?
You know, people who slay wild beasts and stuff.
Oh, so you're like adventurers. I'm Yajime of the Y Tribe.
The what tribe?
So glad I ran into you. I have the perfect quest for you adventurers. You know that big walled area nearby? Something terrible is about to happen inside.
You mean the Imperial base? What are they plotting within?
They're preparing to perform a divine summoning. They're going to summon a god.
Right.
As opposed to...
I believe the name speaks for itself.
And you're not freaking out? If that wicked primal shows up here, this world will be in big trouble, you know? You don't want that to happen, do you? You have to help me, please.
Okay. Jeez.
Oh, great. Here, take this link pearl. We can use it to keep in touch with each other.
Slow down a sec.
Let's be sure to meet up again a little later. All right, adventurers. See you soon.
Hey, wait up! Guess she wasn't listening.
Well then. I mean, we did buy an awful lot of
Couldn't even
greens.
get a word in edgewise. Does this mean we're locked into helping her? And going on an adventure?
Given the Empire's penchant for demonizing the divine, I'm afraid we can't stand to let this go.
So what? We just follow her straight into the belly of the beast?
Well, my friends, doesn't sound like we have much of a choice.
Oh, big chocobo. Looks like he'd be very cuddly. So, I'm
Let's go.
assuming that is there's an Imperial base on the map around here. This one here, which I don't think has anything to do in terms of the story. So it'd be nice. It'd be cool if that's what they're doing. If they're using this as an opportunity to expand, to like use an area which ultimately they had no use for in the actual game.
Forecast.
Clear skies with the temperature rising.
Nice.
Anyway, we need to start making our way over to Kernix Corthus. seeing as this seems like a pretty good point to stop that quest, especially because that quest is, what, level 45? And, like, that Necromancer quest was level 41, and we were really struggling with that. So, I think 45 is probably going to be pushing it a bit, even though it is fair to say that the levels don't always directly correspond to how difficult the thingy is, the mission. But yeah, I don't really think we can just sort of be like, yes, we can just casually walk into a level 45 quest at level 30 odd or whatever we're at. I think we're high 30 or mid 30s. Yeah, very mid 30s. Okay, so as we
sluggish. Yeah.
what was that? I guess we'll find out when we go over here. This seems like one of these sort of smaller areas which might have something of interest around, like an Oryx Culinary Chronicle or some other recipe to be found. So maybe not. Oh no. Aha, a magazine. Interesting. Oh, just a free recipe. Royal Road Paella. Okay.
Easy now.
Okay, cool. So, find another one of Ignis's many recipes. Now that I think about it, I think the game included just a few sort of little rare magazines like that. Like I think it was really only like one or two for a couple of recipes. So finding one is actually is pretty cool. And we've made our way over to Kernix Corthus.
Thanks for the ride.
Which means...
Nice riding with you. What can I do for you?
Okay,
Come again.
nothing to buy from there. When we get back to Lostolum, I really want to check there, just to be absolutely clear. Just to make sure that we've got everything from there. And then... There's no restaurant here. There's no restaurant here. Never mind. I thought there were potentially hunts, but... Nope. My mistake. In which case, yeah, I think it's straight over to Sothmark for us. I don't think there's literally anything else. If we look in terms of quests. So this is Cactuar Needles and Dynamos. We have a Dynamo, so we could do that. Sky Gemstone. I don't think we've got one of those. Then we've got... Up by the Vesper Pool, then we've got a whole load of Lostolum-based quests. Another Vesper Pool one. This one requires a sturdy helix horn. This one's down in Malmalam. That one's in that particular empire, imperial outpost. Then we have our main one, and then returning to Dave, and one in Lead, and some hunts that are again. So yeah, I think the only real thing for us to do is for us to continue on with the main story. And given that we've got, so we'll probably try and finish this episode with finishing off this particular chapter. So this chapter will or at least this battle will introduce.
Best thing I need now. Eyes peeled, mouth closed.
So I believe that's just because we're in the presence of that. The Imperial Fortress over there. You can see the Imperial soldiers just there. But if we just scooch around. So the various, there are a couple of these sort of Imperial investigations that we do. And,
Some kind of fortress.
Yeah, porta-fortress. Those walls don't look so portable, though.
They are remnants of the old war, and the Imperial Army has availed itself of the added protection. Entry will not be easy.
So these follow, there's one in this chapter and there's one in the very next chapter as well, I think. They follow a similar sort of pattern in the sense that you'll go into some semi-scripted events in terms of investigating, so entering the fortress, taking on some enemies, and investigating what there is to see around there. As we need to make another spell. Sometimes I do wish that these elemental deposits could be a little closer to the havens that they're in. Sometimes they are quite far away. So you can see the sort of red mist through the air, which is a consequence of the that large beam that's shooting up into the sky over there. So I believe we need to make camp.
I'm all sticky and gross.
So let's make a sensible decision as to what we want to cook. Very Ketia ginger. So anointed allure or sea bass, attack by 200, HP by 1000, magic by. I mean, that is very good. Let's do that. And we'll just We only have 1 day left, and to be honest, I don't think we're going to be doing a lot of chocobo riding on that day, so I think we'll just stick with Gazelle Greens for now. I'm sure the chocobos won't mind. They do make the food look delicious. So another 16,000 experience. We've been really bulking up the experience at the moment as Ignis gets yet another recipe. So that's our battle with the Skarnbulettes.
I know. I dig it too.
We've got our battle against the Iron Giants.
Hey, this one's pretty good. I know. I dig it too.
Gladio looking handsome as ever. That horrifying battle with the with the Necromancers and their skeletons. And plenty of us just riding around on our chocobo, which I think is always nice.
So, any bright ideas, Ignis?
A dark one, as it were. A frontal assault would leave us exposed. But if we move under cover of night, we might be able to infiltrate the base unnoticed.
And until then?
We learn all we can about the base's design and attempt to narrow down the regalia's location. I'll analyze what intelligence we have available to find us a way in.
Sounds good, Specs.
All right, we're gonna get our wheels back.
So, as they say, we must retrieve the regalia before morning. So there is a small time limit here. Undaunted by the Empire's imposing technology, Noctis and his retinue risk everything to break inside Arakiol's stronghold and recover the stolen regalia. So yeah, there's a minor time limit. Essentially, we need to break in before morning, and if you fail, then you will retreat and you can't go any further.
Our goal is the regalia. The last thing we want is to engage an entire garrison. Avoid detection at all costs.
In and out before it gets light, then.
Indeed. Even if it means leaving the task unfinished, we withdraw before we overstay our welcome.
That being said, we can still, once you get to a certain point, it won't matter in terms of
together on my signal. Until then, hold position. 3, 2, 1. Now.
All right.
Not bad. Might still be hope for you.
So once you get to a certain point in this infiltration, it won't actually matter, and you will be able to leave. You can just hang around and find some, you can explore the base and collect some things.
What? Searchlights. We're clear. Tread warily.
All right. Hey.
Take cover.
It's gone.
Magic. Magitech armor.
Don't want to mess with one of those.
We shouldn't have to, if we keep to the shadows.
Right.
So, we have this sort of these semi-stealth sections. Very linear, very scripted.
Target the blind spot. One hit, one kill.
Well, that was a mistake, but we got lucky.
This what's powering the base?
A Magitech generator of some description. It would explain why the troopers in the vicinity are uncommonly strong.
I say we wreck it. Spare us the sneaking around.
The risk is too great. Finding the regalia comes first. Not a sound. You'll alert the anime.
Got it. Damn it. Kick yourself later. Kick Imperial butt.
So it looks like that super stealth Noctis is going to have to wait another day. Because we are not doing this this stealth section particularly well at all, and we're getting rather... well, obviously, as you can see, it's very generous. You do not need to be perfect whatsoever with this. But it would also be nice to actually be getting these little sections correct. Okay, so there's our regalia.
There's the old girl. She's a real sight for sore eyes.
And none the worse for her time in Imperial hands.
What have we here?
Change of plans. Our new objective is to clear a path for the regalia.
So, there are turrets around this area. Yeah, you can see one just over there. So that's why I was heading up there. I was wondering if there's a turret available. Not that we really need it. Again, the enemy here is not too strong. But, I mean... as turrets go, this is a pretty appalling turret.
Stay sharp. It isn't over yet.
When will it end?
Want it to end? Fight more. Whine less.
Blow up the energy tanks. They'll take out the enemies nearby. Let them do the work for us.
I guess I shouldn't have been using the energy tank so early. Okay, so we've got some simple battery soldiers. Okay, so in this section we can't change character, which is a little disappointing. Still nice and simple. None of these guys are particularly strong compared to us, certainly. Okay, so we're making a path for the regalia, so I'm assuming... Does that mean I need to open this up? Oh, there are just some enemies somewhere that we can't... Oh yeah, there's a sniper all the way over there.
We'll take out the generator and all enemies in the area. Noct, focus your efforts on the generator. There's a chance doing so will weaken the MTs.
No more stealth.
No cover's blown. Go to town.
Yes, sir.
So, here we go. For all of the fears of taking out an entire garrison, you'll actually find
The
it.
entire base is fair game. Hold back. The hammer keeps the enemy off balance.
Getting by.
You can see there's another turret up here if you'd wanted to use that. Much more fun than... than just a single bird at a time. Okay then, so it's after this point, now that our cover's blown, it doesn't matter whether we clear everything out before or after the sort of the time limit. The main thing what we will do, though, is just head forwards and battle against this mana pool. And as ever, the first thing we need to do is take out some snipers.
Serious business.
Back me up.
Now's our chance.
So, this whole section is designed primarily as a little introduction to summons, seeing as it offers us a chance to see this.
Rest in pieces. Come on, let's grab the regalia and split.
So there you have it, the first of the many big summon animations.
This part is.
Inadvertent though it was, we dealt the Empire a crushing blow today. The Marshal will be pleased to hear of this.
So as you can see, yeah, you get a lot of different...
Pretty sweet, busting up that base. Bust a base. I like the sound of that for this sort of thing. There's a base, we go in and bust it up. Bust a base. Whatever, I'm calling it that. You don't have to.
I won't. Seems a bit flippant.
Why not go for something a little more epic?
Because I thought of it first. So that's the name. Bust a base. Get used to it.
Classic prompto. Okay.
Easier said than done.
So, as with all strongholds, especially this stronghold in particular, we can now explore to our heart's delight. And there are frequently some pretty good and useful items to be found in these strongholds when you look about afterwards. That was actually a pretty short little sequence for all of the bombast and the epic music and all that stuff. So for exploration, you generally want to be looking for these sort of little cabin areas. They quite frequently will hold useful items. So there, obviously, we found a Mega Phoenix. In this particular base, I think the main thing that we want to be looking for is potentially a weapon of some sort. And even if you do miss it, well, there's obviously you do have chances to go get it at a later point. But why miss out? Why miss it out on the first go? So we got ourselves a laser sensor. So the regalia is back that way. I think this base is such that there's only a few small entrance ways. So I think we definitely want to turn in here. And head into this section. Inside here, we find our gravity well, which is another Magitech, another NIF make weapon that can be upgraded courtesy of Sid. And we also find a research log. Interesting. So research log ME 745X12. Our expedition into Tailpaw Crag produced some curious fruit, the wreckage of what appears to be an armament of antiquity. I have read many reports claiming the lost civilization of Solheim constructed Magitech weapons to fell the gods, but to think that one would appear before my very eyes. Though it is damaged, I believe I can get it up running. Oh. Interesting. So we've got someone in Niflheim looking for ways to take on the gods. Which is always something to be either very concerned about, or alternatively, depending on the game, that's something your guys are usually supporting. Okay, so we also want to head over to this side of the map. And I think if we head up here, we will find a bulletproof suit. So again, I'm just keeping an eye out for those little cabins, seeing if there's any other interesting sort of tidbits of information that we can find as we get an electrolytic condenser. As I have said, you can return to these places. They are all returnable to at some point. Just checking here. I think we got everything we needed from in there. Okay, so as you can see, there are a few more of these little cabin areas for us to search and check through. So we will check in here next. Alas, this one is empty. I wonder if there's anything up there. Oh, a rusted bit. I mean, again, a lot of these items that we're picking up are useful in the sense that you use them in either to upgrade NIF or NIF make weapons, or they're useful in that you can use them in Elemency, and they can actually be pretty powerful magic catalysts in that sense. So we get ourselves a muscle stimulant. So another restorative type item. In here we find a reflex enhancer. Up here we have a mega potion. And a superior restorative. Seemed rather a minor thing to be hiding behind some extra, to have an extra step behind. There we go. It doesn't look like there's anything else. Yeah, don't think there's anything else. So if we now head through here, Again, just keeping an eye out for anything that could be of use to us. And we've got one more of these little cabins. Another empty one of these cabins. That's always disappointing. I guess that'll be the last one, I think, for us to check. Although we haven't actually been down that area, so. So, in here we find a Magitech booster. Yeah, we haven't been in this room. Anything up top? Nope. But we got a muscle stimulant over there. And I think that's pretty much it. I think we've been in every area. We haven't really been down there, but I think we'll be fine. So it should just be a case now of regaining the regalia and heading back to Lestolum.
Guys?
Long has it been, Noctis.
Ravis.
You received the storm's blessing, and yet you know nothing of the consequences.
Watch it.
Be still, all of you.
Not good.
Heir to a crown befitting no other. Witness his splendor and glory. All hail the chosen king.
Awful high and mighty for an Imperial rat, serving the enemy to hunt down Luna.
I do not serve, I command! The king's sworn shield.
You better believe it.
A weak shield protects naught.
Hey! Wanna go? Let's do it.
Should the chosen fall, that too is fate.
I'd say that's far enough. A hand, Highness.
Not from you.
Oh, but I'm here to help.
And how is that?
By taking the army away.
You expect us to believe that?
When next we meet, it'll be across the seas. Just so happens we have business of our own with the tutelary deity, don't we? Fare thee well, your majesty. And safe travels.
You guys know that guy?
Ravis Nox Fleuret, first son of Tenebrae, and elder brother to Lady Luna Freya.
So, some big, important information.
Have been removed. The Imperial Army has also demolished all related facilities erected around the region. The Provisional Government of Insomnia anticipates increased traffic congestion along most local highways and encourages all citizens to refrain from any unnecessary travel for the time being.
So help me figure this out. That was Luna's brother?
The High Commander himself. Wartime makes for quick promotions.
Even a son of Tenebrae can rise to the top.
But why would he want to lead their army?
Who cares?
Certainly formidable enough on his own.
Ugh. If Ravis wants power, I'll give him a taste.
So I don't know if there are any other chats. But some really important things obviously happen there in terms of we meet Ravus really for the first time. At least the main four meet Ravus. And we hear some more about what he's sort of his opinion. And also as we hear there from Arden, that he and Ravus have business with who they call the tutelary deity, so a protection god. And they mention going across the seas. It should be clear, or at least from everything else, that they're talking about Leviathan, the member of the Hexatheon who stays in Altisha. We know that Luna's heading there because she's trying to make a covenant with Leviathan, or form, whichever it is. She forms a pact and then Noctis makes a covenant. I don't remember which way around it is. But, so Noctis, we know that Luna's heading to Altisha. We now know that Ravus and Arden have reason to be heading to Altisha as well, which is not what we want to really know. And we also see a little bit more about Ravus, including his rather extraordinary power at this point, and his current position as a high-ranking Niflheim officer.
It's getting hot out here.
Just need to pull in somewhere cool.
Yeah.
Any chance sleeping in a nice room tonight?
Yes, I'm certain we can secure suitable accommodations nearby.
Okay, so quest number 1 to hand in.
So, how'd it go? Did you get any good shots?
Does this work for you?
I mean, I don't think that one would work, but that's a pretty nice shot.
Oh, not bad, not bad. You got talent, that's for sure. My readers are gonna dig this.
What readers?
Look, I'm in the print business, okay? Maybe you've heard of my company. Meteor Publishing?
Nope. Can't say I have. Not once.
Well, you have now, so don't you forget it. Here's your pay. If you get stuck for cash again, drop on by. Maybe I'll have another job for you. The name's Vive, by the way. I'll be seeing you around.
So we complete our first mission for Vive. And get a nice little chunk of gil. And doing so will then allow us to unlock the next one.
Got a minute? I got a profitable proposition for you. Another job, to be precise.
More photos, right?
Correctamundo. On the first guess, too. I need shots of Angel Guard. Ever seen it? The funny-looking island off the coast of Galden.
Yeah, I know it.
Figures you would. Famous place, home of legends and all that. Anyway, I need a good picture of it. Take a few shots. Make it look impressive. I'll let you decide where to shoot from.
So, Vive, continue our little...
He wants to publish my photos?
Somehow, I'm thinking maybe not.
Yet he must have turned to us for a reason.
Because he knew we'd say yeah.
So, hearing a little bit about Vive and how the guys are not particularly, or at least suspicious of it, let's put it that way. So, there must be some things that we can buy from here. Some expert colour samples.
Thank you kindly. Thank you.
So, we make our purchases there. And what we'll now do, so obviously we have the sinister music. That's largely building up because we should have already sort of gauged from the fact that over the course of...
You're worried about the view. I'm worried about the
in terms of Iris's health and security, because she has been missing for a little bit. And she has been missing, at least she's been incognito. We haven't been able to contact her, which is worrying. Okay, so most of these quests that we need to hand in are located in the farmer's market. So we will head there. But I think, seeing as we are here, we might as well do all of the other little bits as well.
Fall Star, it's food from above. Bye now.
Okay, so for one thing, we need to check the radio here. Okay, so nothing there. I think it's fair to say. And we've definitely read that Oryx Culinary Chronicle, I'm sure.
Oh, hello again.
So, here we find some restoratives and some auto parts, which we've already bought.
Scary to think that fortresses can fly.
We want to check the restaurant over here.
Can't top the aroma of bread being baked.
And hand in some small quests. The sinister music does definitely make it seem like we should be rushing over to the Laville. But I mean, the boys can't hear the music, so there we.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll deliver our first quest, which is over here, the Bulette Carapace.
I got the thing you wanted. Here. Oh, you remembered. Great. Now we'll be able to ramp up our production. Thanks heaps. Hope we can rely on you again.
The main reason I'm handing these in now is because I'm hoping that we'll be able to stay in the Laville. And if we do stay in the Laville, then obviously we'll be able to get that nice bonus to the experience that we get.
You. Hey, got another favor to ask whenever you can manage. Thanks in advance.
So we get Tailspin as a new quest. All of this may well be sort of out of order, but I think it's a nice way to finish this off, as in this episode, if we can sort of tie all of these loose ends up. Because we do have a lot of loose ends to carry out.
You'd help call pests?
Okay, so we've got a bunch more here.
Wonderful. I look forward to the good news. Best of luck.
So we've got 4 hunts on the run just from here.
Be careful.
Scary to think that fortresses can fly.
And then the last place is also in the farmer's market. See, everything looks fine over there. There's no reason to have this really ominous music, surely. Okay, and in this one.
I can't believe you managed to bring it all back.
Our part of the deal's done.
Is this what you came for? Sure.
Help yourself. Go nuts.
I'll take as much as I can carry.
Sheesh. Don't hold back or anything. But sure, I guess we do owe you.
Okay, so that one's to do with Taka.
Much obliged, boys. Ah, doesn't get fresher than this. Say, this is your harvest. Should try it.
Maybe some other time.
Come now, don't be shy. Thanks to you, we can offer our veggies at special prices. Take your time, and let me know if you need help.
You have to go far to find veggies this fresh.
Gotta be tasty.
Why not give it a try?
Don't feel like it right now.
Like you ever feel like it.
Okay, another quest from here
Hey there.
as well.
You boys still hunting up a storm? Say, if you have time, there's more harvesting that wants doing. Head over to the farm if you're up for it.
So, you need to harvest a bulbous onion. So obviously, it's a good idea to do these quests early because of one, they obviously give you the, you get the benefits early on, and two, all of these quests are relatively low level and therefore are well worth us.
Thanks for clearing things up. We've been in contact with the hunter again. With the deal secure, we can keep selling quality goods at reasonable prices. We couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah, no sweat.
By the way, new stock just came in, so take a look. You won't find cheaper.
Okay.
Excuse my grandson. The word precocious was invented for him.
Okay, so do we get a second one from there? It doesn't look like it yet.
Hey, I believe this is yours.
You're a lifesaver, brother. Bet you're curious what's inside.
Not really.
I'd tell you don't be a bore, but the contents ain't exactly riveting either. Just my usual. I'll make it cheap, though, so be sure to buy up.
So, that's Van interrupted again. And so, we will obviously drop by here as well.
Remind me, what was it you liked again?
Okay, so Disquieted Queens.
Be careful, eh?
And this one, which is actually inside the Glacial Grotto, it looks like. So that one might be...
All right, we're counting on you.
We might be waiting on that one for a fair while, but should be okay. We've generally got enough, usually got enough space in what we're doing. Okay, so Wild About Onions is just south of Wiz. Tailspin is over here. Do we have any other? That's Taka. That looks like everything. Excellent. Okay, let us head to the Lustolum. We can then stop this overly...
Are you sure you weren't like that kid, Iggy?
Very positively sure.
What was he like?
Can't seem to recall.
Well, can't be too different from now.
Sounds right.
I love the idea of Ignis. He must have been like that kid. Anyway, over to the Lavelle we must go. To finish off Chapter 5 and wrap everything up quite nicely.
Oh, Gladdy,
What's wrong?
I let you down. I never made it to Kayem. The Empire came while you were gone. None of us said a word about Noct. They just showed up and then... Poor Jared.
What do you mean? What happened to Jared?
There was nothing we could do!
should have been here.
I couldn't stop them.
But I won't let the Empire get away with it. They'll pay for what they've done. I promise.
I believe in you, Prince Noctis.
I'm taking Talcott, and we're going to Kayam. We can't just stay here and do nothing.
I understand.
So unfortunately, it didn't look like we got a nice double to that experience, but that's no worries. We're still nice and high, level 39 and 38. Ignis with his food and his chocobo. A nice little Dutch angle shot of the mana pool there. Got a picture of Ravens. And just us walking around Lestolum. So obviously, so there we have it, the end of chapter 5. We have plenty for us to talk about. And in the next episode, we will be starting off chapter 6. And starting off with this next chapter, which looks at the progress that we'll start making as we head towards Cape Kayam in the south of Clane. So, I hope you have enjoyed this episode of my playthrough of my playthrough of Final Fantasy 15. We've got another good chunk of story done in this episode, and I hope you will join me on the next, where we will be, as I say, starting chapter 6 and making our way south to Kayam for the first time, and beginning our progress as we head down that way.